We are hearing from the family of a transgender woman killed Friday night. Houston police say Marisela Castro was driving and got out of her car when she was shot from behind in East Houston. And now her family, they want answers.
Yeah, they are hoping someone comes forward with some information. Our Xavier Walton talked to the victim's sister tonight. Xavier, what does she have to say?
She said
Hello, and welcome to Crime Time with the Easy E. Yes, the King, where we turn criminals into the roaches that they are, and then stomp on them, or make them disappear. Shit. Okay, now, awkward pause, as I try to recover and pretend that didn't happen. Anywho, family of transgender woman hopes someone comes forward after her murder. The Houston Police Department is still searching for the gunman that killed a transgender woman. After nearly 5 days, Marisela Castro's family is speaking out and hoping someone comes forward. We don't believe it. We're frustrated and confused. It's just something we never expected, Kitty Castro said. We didn't see it coming. Holding back tears, Kitty Castro looked for pictures of her sister who was shot and killed. I think it'll be the hardest thing to be at the funeral home and see her in a box, Kitty said. I can't imagine that. The Houston Police Department said the shooting happened at Wood Shadows and Autumn Woods Drive at about 1:45 a.m. on Friday. Home surveillance video captured a maroon Chrysler coming to a stop on a residential street. Investigators said 3 people were inside the car. The driver, Marisela Castro, reportedly gets out of the car. Then a second person shoots her from behind. Then you see the same maroon vehicle take off. Investigators said the suspects ditched the maroon car a couple of blocks away. 17-year-old charged with 2022 murder of transgender woman Marisela Castro. A 17-year-old is facing a capital murder charge in the shooting death of a transgender woman 8 months ago. Marisela Castro was found shot in the middle of Centerwood Street in the North Shore neighborhood at about 2 a.m. on July 29th. Houston police detectives do not believe the teen, who was 16 at the time of the murder, pulled the trigger. Because he is charged in juvenile court, little to no information is provided about the suspect. The Houston Police Department was able to obtain surveillance video at the time of the shooting that gave them a clearer picture of what happened. Officers said Castro and 2 others were inside her car. As they drove down Centerwood Street, the car stopped. Castro and another person got out, according to police. A single shot was fired toward the transgender woman, who was hit in the back. The person returned to Castro's car, and the 2 people drove away. Police found her car abandoned at a nearby jogging trail. While police said they do not believe the suspect in custody fired the shot, they did not specify if he exited the car with Castro or stayed inside. The other suspect remains at large. The Houston Police Department only described him as an unidentified, wanted suspect. Sadly, that is life sometimes, Castro's brother said. The person who commits these crimes is out in the streets. Sometimes they are never caught, but God will take care of that. ABC 13 broke the news of the arrest to Castro's brother, who lives out of state. He asked not to be identified for fear of retaliation. He said Castro lived with him before she moved to Houston. I pray to God that Marisela is in a good place now, her brother said. I hope God has forgiven Marisela's sins, and Marisela is at peace now. Check out these videos.
We are hearing from the family of a transgender woman killed Friday night. Houston police say Marisela Castro was driving and got out of her car when she was shot from behind in East Houston. And now her family, they want answers.
Yeah, they are hoping someone comes forward with some information. Our Xavier Walton talked to the victim's sister tonight. Xavier, what does she have to say?
she said the family is in shock and disbelief and that they just have so many questions, starting with why.
Holding back tears, Kitty Castro looked for pictures of her sister Marisela, who was shot and killed on Friday.
The police called and told me what happened. Estamos que no lo creemos.
We didn't believe it. We were frustrated and confused. It's just something we never expected. We didn't even see it coming.
Katie is Maricela's younger sister.
Siento que va a ser lo más.
I think it'll be the hardest thing to be at a funeral home and see her in a box. I can't even imagine that.
Houston police say the shooting happened at Wood Shadows and Autumn Woods Drive. Here's home surveillance video showing a maroon Chrysler coming to a stop on a residential street. Investigators say 3 people were in the car. The driver, Maricela Castro, Katie's sister, who is a transgender woman, reportedly gets out, and a second person shoots her from behind. Then you see the vehicle take off. We're told the suspects ditched the maroon car a couple blocks away.
And I said, no. And I started crying like really bad. And I said, no, I can't believe it.
Jorge Lizardo says he was one of Maricela's best friends.
She was always happy.
And that's one of the things he's going to miss most. He says people who were close to Maricela are trying to make sense of something senseless.
I don't know, maybe, people don't like our community, people trans or gays, It's hard right now in these times.
And Jorge was actually heading to the sister's house right before we stopped and talked to him. Meantime, at this point, police are still investigating, but they have not said that this is a hate crime, even though they are still looking for those suspects. In Houston, Xavier Waltz at KHOU 11 News.
Right now, Houston police want to find the person who shot and killed a transgender woman killed last year in East Houston. Maricela Castro was found dead in the roadway. This week, a 17-year-old was arrested, charged with capital murder. Police say the teen and an unknown suspect stole the victim's car after the shooting. Now, if you have any information about this murder, please contact police.
A 17-year-old is now charged with capital murder, accused of killing a transgender woman. Maricela Castro was found with a gunshot wound on a residential street in East Houston 8 months ago. Police are still looking for another suspect in the case. Our Micah Hatfield is live downtown after speaking with the victim's brother. Micah?
Elisa, information is limited on the teenage suspect that was charged because he's actually charged in juvenile court. Houston police have told us that they do not believe this suspect pulled the trigger in that shooting. They are still looking for that person who they only described as unidentified and wanted. I pray to God that Maricela is in a good place now. I hope God has forgiven Maricela's sins and Maricela is at peace now. It's been a difficult 8 months for Maricela Castro's brother. He asked that we conceal his identity for fear of retaliation. The transgender woman lived with her brother out of state before she moved to Houston. I never got to meet any of Maricela's friends from Houston. On July 29th, she was found dead in the middle of Centerwood Street in the North Shore neighborhood at about 2 a.m. Surveillance video helped detectives piece this case together. They believe Castro and 2 others were inside her car. Video obtained by ABC 13 shows that car stop in the street. She and another person get out. A single gunshot is fired, and that person gets back into the car and they took off. Police say they found Castro's abandoned car a few blocks away. The teen police arrested this week was 16 at the time. He's not believed to be the shooter. That person remains at large. Police have not released a motive in this case. I want this investigation to be thorough to find out who killed Maricela.
Please keep all involved in your prayers. What do you think about this story? Let me know in the comments below. And be nice, or a frog you will become. Damn it. If you like the video, like, subscribe, and hit that bell to receive notifications of when we upload a new video. Also check out our merch at sen1he.com.